So I started fasting again in 2023, but has it been worth it? Let's dig into it. Today we're diving into the topic of intermittent fasting, and we're going to answer the big question, should you try intermittent fasting in 2024? If you're someone that's thinking about giving it a try in the new year, I'm going to share my journey with it, the progress that I've made, and I hope that this video can help you make the decision that's best for you. If talking about weight loss is triggering for you, this might not be the video for you, but that's okay because I have plenty of videos on my channel that aren't talking about anything to do with weight loss. So you've got options. So I started January this year just not feeling my best. I'm currently dealing with an injury that's been going on for a few years and causing so many issues. And a lot of my habits have slipped up because of this, and I haven't been able to move my body in the same way that I'm used to. I've been really limited on the kind of workouts that I can do. So this really played with my mental and physical health. And so I've been trying to navigate that. I came into this year just feeling exhausted, bloated, just really inflamed and just lethargic. I wasn't feeling excited to move my body, and I just knew that I needed to make some changes because I was not going down a path that was going to lead me to feeling happy. So I had to completely shift my lifestyle, my habits, and my routine all over again. And at that point I had lost so much muscle, so I was feeling extremely weak on top of all of that. I just really missed that happy, energized, fit version of myself. So in 2023, I set out to create new habits and rebuild old ones that just kind of went on the back burner. But first things first, what is intermittent fasting if you don't know? I don't really look at it as a diet, some might. To me, it's more like an eating pattern where you cycle between periods of eating and periods of fasting. It seems pretty simple. There are so many different ways that you can incorporate intermittent fasting into your lifestyle. And I had done this years ago in the past, but it had been a few years since I had done any sort of intermittent fasting. I was doing the 5-2 method where you're eating regularly 5 days a week and then 2 days a week you're fasting. I was doing that regularly like 2 times a month, and I loved it at the time, but I found it really hard to do that method this time around after so much in my life had changed and after hitting the injury. It just didn't feel good for me anymore, and I just think it's important to acknowledge when something isn't working for you right now in this season, even if it's something that worked for you in the past. So I thought, okay, maybe I'll try 16-8 and see how I go with that. It seems a lot more approachable, but I really questioned whether or not it would do anything because I was like 16 hours fasting feels like nothing because I'm going to be sleeping for a lot of that. So it felt too easy for me after doing something like the 5-2 where I was literally doing 48 hours fasting. But I was like, I'm going to give it a try, and I was looking into it. You know, there's all those things that rave about the benefits of intermittent fasting, and it can help with weight loss, but it can also help with your metabolism and your energy levels, your blood sugar control, your brain health, and all those things were very appealing to me, especially after hitting this injury and hitting this like really big bump in the road for me. I don't know, the 16-8 just, I don't know, my brain did not accept it as something that was actually going to work. I think part of it was like that 90s diet culture part of my brain that was like, it needs to be extreme, it needs to like, you need to suffer or it's not gonna work. Like I was like, 16-8 just seems like so, like I'm not gonna see results kind of thing. I will say that this is not a one size fits all. If you're someone that's pregnant, if you have medical issues, like consult a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is just me sharing my experiences, sharing like things that I've read and my experience, okay? So do with this information what you wish, but this is not me telling you that you need to do anything with your health or your life. You can choose what suits best for your lifestyle and your goals. I believe it's very flexible, and that's why I like it. Because for me, flexibility equals sustainability, and that's how you maintain things long term. So for me, I noticed changes within the first week. I felt less bloated and I didn't feel as snacky. And before I started doing this, I was feeling like I was really struggling when it came to snacks. Snack time was becoming more of an inconvenience than something to look forward to. It just felt like I couldn't find the right snacks that I enjoyed. I couldn't find snacks that made me feel full. And it was just more of a hassle trying to figure out what snacks were going to work into my lifestyle. So to feel less snacky was a good benefit for me. I had already started eating cleaner leading up to me starting this. And I think that that can really help with your detox symptoms or any side effects to switching into this kind of lifestyle. So I didn't really notice any like headaches or anything like that. I do think that it's best to give yourself like a week of just like eating clean before you go into like actually doing the fasting, just to allow yourself to adjust to eating differently. I was peeing a lot more in the beginning as well, which is good because I was really struggling getting my water in. Once I started doing this and like officially started, I got more strict on like making sure I was getting my water in. So that's like one thing that drastically improved. I was like struggling, like, oh, I just can't drink enough water, I can't drink enough water. And I used to be the girl that drank like one of those big gallon things. I used to easily drink that at my gym session alone, and then I would drink more than that during the day. I would drink so much water, and then I went into a phase of like everything was hard, struggling with my health, struggling with my injury, struggling to drink water. Like I did not feel like myself because I didn't recognize that version of myself who just struggled with like getting water in, moving my body. And so it felt really good to like get back into a flow of like drinking water came easy to me. I did start to get very dehydrated in like the first month of fasting, just because like your body just loses a lot of the minerals while you're fasting. And so I had to be really intentional to get the electrolytes in. So it wasn't enough just to drink my water. I had to intentionally be putting like salt. I have like a little cup of like salt water and electrolytes that I drink. I'll have some first thing in the morning just to replenish some of the minerals. So I'll have my water, but I also will intentionally make sure I'm getting in my electrolytes as well. And that seems to have really helped. I very rarely feel dehydrated now, except for when I have long filming days like this. But again, I still always try to have electrolytes with me when I'm filming. So the things that I focus on during my eating window are getting in my protein, fat, and fiber, and drinking my electrolytes. Those are like my main focuses during my eating window. And then I also try and just not eat a lot of foods that spike my blood sugar levels. You know, there's some people that do fasting that think like, okay, in my eating window, I can eat whatever I want, but I've been very intentional about what I've been eating within my eating window and just making sure, especially making sure that I'm focusing on my protein over everything. And the thing is, while focusing on protein, fat, and fiber, not spiking my blood sugar levels too much and getting my electrolytes in, I've felt that still leaves so much room for me to eat yummy, delicious foods that I love, that keep me full and satisfied. Like for me, intermittent fasting doesn't mean eat bland meals or like just fasting. I think that people forget we get to decide what the meals are going to be. We can get creative with the nutritious recipes that we create for ourselves. We get to make it fun, and that's what I've been really enjoying. I've been pulling out the crock pot more, even though we're in spring here in Australia, and I've just been like having fun with it, looking at different recipes to try on the weekends, and it's just been really enjoyable to get back into this kind of flow. I don't know, I just find it really flexible. I usually start around 6:30. In our house, we eat dinner pretty early. I know that some people don't eat dinner till like 8 p.m., but 6:30 works for us, and this is easiest for me, that 6:30 to 10:30-ish time frame. But sometimes on the weekends, my boyfriend and I will eat a little later because we're watching movies on the couch and we're, you know, like we're just enjoying ourselves. So I'll finish my last meal at like 8:30, and so I just stretch it out in the morning, and then I won't eat till like 12:30. And so I find it really flexible for life and just balancing things out, and for like when I'm traveling, when I'm doing things, if I'm going out to dinner, I just find that I can easily like switch it up. Like even if life last minute changes, I can just eat breakfast later the next morning. I just find it really, really flexible. Even when I am out to eat, I find it very easy to find things on the menu that are protein, fat, and fiber focused. And so I really haven't struggled or felt restricted or felt like I was on a diet or felt like, ooh, I can't have that. I haven't really had that. I just do my best to hit the 16-8. Some days it's like 15-9. I'll fast for only 15 hours and I'll have a 9-hour eating window. But sometimes it's like a 17-7. So like I just try to stay within the 16-8. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. I just do my best and I adjust as needed, and I found that that's been the easiest to stick to, and it's been enjoyable for me. I naturally haven't been drinking much this year, but we still have a day where we'll go out for a drink or I'll have a drink with dinner, and it's I just don't make it a problem because this is a lifestyle. I get to decide what it's going to look like, and I get to decide if I'm going to be okay with results maybe coming a little slower because I am making this a lifestyle instead of being super, super strict and telling myself I can't have things and just because I want to hit a goal quicker. I'd rather slowly and sustainably hit my goal and enjoy myself along the way than like being miserable just so I can reach a goal. And on the days where I will go out and have dinner and have a date night, have a drink and like eat something that I normally wouldn't during the week, the next day I just go back to like my normal eating routine. Like I don't make it mean anything. It just means that that's what I had for dinner on Saturday night and this is what I'm having for breakfast and this is my healthy lunch and like this is my balanced healthy lunch. Like it just means that it's food that I've ate and it doesn't have any attachment to like, oh, that was a bad choice or this is a good choice. It's just that was the choice and we move on to the next choice. Like I've just stopped getting hung up on things and I've just allowed myself to live. It's just been way more freeing for me. And again, when I'm focusing on getting my protein, fat, and fiber in, I try and hit like 30 to 35 grams of protein each meal. And when I focus on that, I feel full, I feel satisfied. So like my cravings are in check. I feel good. And I notice when I'm not hitting those protein, fat, and fiber, like when I'm not getting all of that in my meal, I'm hungrier. My cravings are out of whack. Like I eat more. Like it really does matter what you're eating in the window. For me, at least, I've noticed a difference. And, you know, some people might be able to get away with eating whatever they want within their eating window. But for me, I really need to focus on getting enough protein in or else I notice that I just struggle. Like the day is a struggle. I just crave all these things that I really normally don't crave, like junk food. I normally have gotten myself to a point where like I eat fairly well and like I don't really crave junk food. Like sometimes I'll be like, oh, I could go for a brownie or a cookie, but it's not like a daily kind of thing. And I don't know, I just feel like even my cravings are balanced. Like sometimes I crave a big salad, but sometimes I crave a brownie. So I just feel like even my cravings are balanced when I'm eating enough to like satiate me. My cravings are even balanced. I love being in that space because it just becomes easy. It's just like I don't have to think about it. My body's craving healthier things, but my body also allows me to enjoy a brownie here and there. When I'm in that like state of like balance and flow, I just feel good. I just feel like I am living, loving, thriving in life. And so when I'm not in that space and everything, I'm like, oh, I've just been craving chocolate cake every single day, or I just like, all I want to eat is carbs, or like, that's when I'm just like feeling like crap, because constantly eating those things does not make me feel good. So when I'm doing that, I'm not feeling good, and it just defeats the whole purpose of me trying to find this balance. You need to listen to your body. Your body's going to tell you different things than what my body's going to tell me. And so you need to listen to your body. There's times where I'm like, ooh, I need to break this fast early. I'll end it at the 15th hour instead of the 16th hour. And that was me yesterday. And it was not a problem though. I didn't beat myself up. I didn't tell myself, oh, you're doing this wrong, you're doing this bad. I just said, we'll try again tomorrow. And I didn't even say we'll try again tomorrow. We're having breakfast. And then we'll have lunch, then we'll have dinner, and then we'll fast, and then we'll do it. It just is what it is. And so I just don't attach a meaning to it. It's been really helpful using the Fastic app. So I've used this app in the past. I find it really easy to keep me on track with my eating window. And then it tells you I'm in my eating window, so it's not telling me, but it will tell you when you're in fat burning mode, and it just tells you the science behind what your body's going through and breaking down the blood glucose and all of that kind of stuff. I like knowing the science behind stuff, so I find it fascinating. But yeah, you can change your plan to the 16-8. It says up in the top your fasting plan. Having an app has definitely helped me. I think I did the first week with no app and I just roughly gauged it, but getting the app just gives me the extra level of focused accountability to just like have some guidance. And it gives me notifications to remind me to drink water, which sometimes when I'm in the middle of editing and stuff, like I can definitely get in the zone. So I do like that as well. I started in September after we got back from traveling for 2.5 weeks and moving. It was like a really transitional phase and I was feeling it even more. And so I was just like, I'm ready. We're going to do this. So I started in September. We are like a couple of weeks away from December right now. We're like mid-November right now. So it's been like 2.5 months. But the thing is, I've seen steady progress that whole time. Like I feel so much better. My habits have changed. Like I said, I'm drinking more water. Like my clothes are fitting better. I'm in a better sleep cycle. I'm down 4 kilos, aka like 8 pounds. And it's early November. I don't have to count calories or macros. Before I started this, like earlier in the year, I was like working on my habits and I started to do macros again. And in the past, I will say the macros I enjoyed and I did and I had success with. But in this season, it just wasn't working for me. It just wasn't enjoyable. I just like, I just did not want to measure out everything. I'm just not in that headspace right now. So I just needed ease and flexibility, and that's what this has given me. So I just love that I don't have to count things. I will say in the beginning, I did measure out like my protein, like for my lunches and stuff, to make sure I was getting in enough, because I was just like using a handful of chicken. I was just making sure I was getting enough protein. But now I'm at the point where I can just eyeball it and I know I'm getting my protein in for the day. I don't know. I just don't think that intermittent fasting is a quick fix. Like, obviously it can be, and like people have used it that way. I just think that it's a tool, and when that tool is used correctly, it can help you achieve your health goals. And I just don't want to be the person that's tracking every sip, every bite, every this, every that. Like, I think there's a time and place for it. Like, if that's what's working for you, like, I'm no judgment if that's your thing and that's working for you. Like I said, I've done it in the past, but for me right now, I just needed that flexibility, and it's working great for me. So like, I didn't have any like crazy results in my first 2.5 months, but for me, it was pretty crazy because I was struggling to even lose like 1 kilo. So to drop 4 has like given me a lot of just hope that I'm on the right track and that I am taking the steps towards where I want to be, and to just feeling better, and I'm prioritizing myself, and I'm prioritizing my health. I also will say, like, I know, like, especially on a weight loss journey, they say that like the more weight you have to lose, the more drastic the change can be in the beginning. I already lost a lot of weight. I was like 200 pounds and I lost like 60 pounds. And then, like I said, time, different seasons in life and injury, like that weight crept back on. I think I gained like 20 pounds. So like, I'm just trying to lose 20 pounds. Like, I'm not trying to lose 65 pounds again. And so I feel like the less weight that you have to lose, the slower it can happen. But that's just my experience. I find that there were times when I was way bigger and trying to lose way more weight, I could lose 10 pounds like it would happen more drastically in the beginning of my weight loss journey, versus these days it's like slow and sustainable. I don't know if that makes sense. Let me know if you've had a similar experience. I would love to hear your experience in the comments below. So should you try intermittent fasting in 2024? Listen, it's working for me and I love it. And I'm only just starting all over again, and I'm only 2.5 months in. I might do another update later down the line. Let me know if that's something that you would like to see. But it really does depend on your lifestyle, your goals, and your overall health. You know, something like counting calories, doing macros, doing another lifestyle change, diet might be better for you than doing intermittent fasting. But you're never gonna know unless you try. But I would say look into it, do your research, don't just jump into things. Consult with professionals, do what you gotta do so you're stepping into this, giving yourself the best fighting chance. Definitely start the week before fasting with just eating clean and getting into the habits before you start the fasting part. I feel like that can really go a long way, but you have to make the decision that's best for you. For me, it's been a great decision. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really just excited to see, you know, how I'm feeling come this time next year. But I'm even just how I'm going to feel come the end of this year in another month or so. So I'm just really happy that I just did something. You know what I mean? Like, if you want change, you have to change something. So I'm just proud of myself for changing something and for doing something. And for you, that might be starting intermittent fasting, but it might be something else that's going to work best for you. But only you will know what that is and when it feels right and when it feels like something you can sustain long term. And for me, that's the biggest indicator that you found the right thing for you, is when it feels like it's something that can fit into your lifestyle easily and that you can stick to long term. That is all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I hope to see you tuning in to another video soon. Bye. Jeez.